Hey, welcome into the channel. I hope everybody is doing well. So this is it. This is the first day of the big transit everybody's been talking about. And yes, this is the transit where I had completed videos for all 12 zodiac signs. It's informational, so if you're new and you're just now catching this video, please feel free to go back into my bio and you will see videos for the next 7 years for every zodiac sign if you want to get a little bit more information. And when this is out for you to view, your girl, I will be preparing to go out of town. So I subconsciously ended up booking a trip to go out of town during this transit. I am a Gemini rising, I am a Gemini moon, and I am a Gemini south node. And this is going to be system overload for me. So I am going to be heading out of town to clear my aura, and I'm going to take my dog as well. We're going to get his aura cleaned up as well. It'll give me a chance to relax, because Geminis are going to have a lot of information coming at them, and they already work overtime in their mind. This is going to be a little extra. So when you see this, I will be preparing to go out of town. Now, heads up, I am pre-recording astrological events for, yes, today, the 25th. I'm going to be doing one for the 26th. I will do one for the 28th, and there will be one for the 29th. After the 29th, I will be traveling back, and so then I will be doing videos more in real time. And I will be obviously wearing a different outfit. So you're going to see the same outfit for those videos. So just so you know, they're all being pre-recorded, but they will be released while I am out of town. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. So the 25th, 2026, this is the beginning of a 7-year transit. Okay, Gemini has officially moved into Uranus. It is stationing there for the next 7 to 8 years. Okay, this is a big one. But let's take a little step back here. This is not the only astrological event happening on the 25th. We also have the sun in Taurus. Okay, Taurus season has begun. And then we also have squaring. So Taurus, the sun, squaring Pluto, which is in Aquarius. And this is creating high tension that challenges authority, control, and ego. And this is why I'm out of town taking a little breaky break. Oh, I planned that one out right, didn't I? So this energy will also bring up intense power struggles. Okay, we're going to have deep psychological shifts, and there's going to be necessary, sometimes unavoidable transformation of situations or personal beliefs. So this period, it's common to confront issues, all right, surrounding autonomy versus the external pressure. Okay, it's going to be prompting a re-examination of priorities and courage to let go of what no longer serves your growth. So embracing flexibility and self-awareness is key to navigating these transformative dynamics and emerging stronger on the other side. So let's talk about the key themes here when it comes to the sun squaring Pluto. All right. You have power dynamics. There's going to be a tendency towards feeling powerless or needing to control, often stemming from anxiety or vulnerability. There's going to be transformation. Okay, there's a crucial moment to confront fears and change deep-seated behaviors rather than fighting against necessary evolution. So we have the fixed sign conflict that arises, okay? When the sun is in Taurus, that is a sign that seeks stability, while Pluto is in Aquarius, which drives change. So the friction creates a battle between holding on and letting go. In astrology, Taurus represents persistence and resistance to change. And then Pluto in Aquarius, well, that symbolizes transformation and innovation. So the energy generally peaks as a period of stubbornness meets inevitable change, demanding adaptability. And then finally, we have the moon in Virgo. And this is doing something very specific in the middle of all the bigger, louder transits happening that day. It's trying to make sense of the chaos. So you've got intense disruptive energy from the sun and the outer planets. Then the moon is in Virgo, steps in like, okay, what does this actually mean? And what do I do with it? So, when the moon moves through Virgo, emotions shift out of raw feeling, and then you start to go into analysis. So this is not a sit and feel it kind of moon, all right? This is figure it out, fix it, improve it kind of moon. So emotionally, people tend to feel more mentally active than emotionally expressive, okay? You're going to focus on details, patterns, and the what's off. A strong urge to organize, clean, or correct something. You're going to have heightened awareness of flaws. That's Virgo energy. Both in yourself and in others. It's subtle, but it's very powerful. So we don't want to rule it out. Because this moon in Virgo is happening on the day where everything else is intense and fast moving, might I add, it creates a very specific kind of experience. Overthinking goes into overdrive. You're not just noticing things anymore. You're dissecting them. You're going to replay conversations. You're going to pick apart words. You're trying to understand why something happened. Your brain is basically running diagnostics on your life. Then we have emotional processing. It becomes the mental processing. So instead of crying or reacting outwardly, people are going to go quiet. They're internalizing everything. Try to logically explain their emotions. This can make people seem calm on the outside, but internally there's a lot happening. So there's going to be heightened sensitivity to imperfections. So the Virgo energy really sharpens perception this day. So people may feel more critical of themselves and others. They're going to be irritated by small things. They're going to be hyper aware of what isn't working. So this can show up as possibly nitpicking or as a genuine desire to improve something. So with everything else feeling unpredictable, the moon in Virgo is trying to ground everything through productivity, sticking to routines, trying to fix practical problems. So you might suddenly feel the urge to clean your space, organize your thoughts, maybe make a plan. It's your mind trying to stabilize itself. So this day does bring a shadow side versus a gift. So the shadow is people expressing anxiety from overanalysis. And then there's paralysis from trying to get it perfect, being overly critical or hard on yourself. There's going to be mental exhaustion. But in the gift side of this, there's a higher expression of it. Thank you, Spirit. Clarification, confirmation. There's clear insight and pattern recognition, emotional intelligence through understanding. There's productive problem solving, grounding yourself through small, meaningful actions. So why does this moon matter so much that day? On a normal day, a Virgo moon is very helpful. But on April 25th, 2026, this is acting like a filter for everything happening mentally and emotionally. This is the part of you trying to process sudden realizations, break down intense truths, translate chaos into something usable. So think of it like this. The rest of the sky is shaking you awake. The moon in Virgo is trying to help you make sense of what you just realized. So the bottom line, the moon in Virgo on this day doesn't slow things down. It focuses them. It zooms in. It analyzes. It forces awareness. And while that can feel overwhelming in the moment, it also is where the clarity begins. So this day, your mind starts moving faster. Your reality, can keep up with it. And for some of you, this is a moment where something clicks or something completely breaks. Because of this day, we have 3 major forces colliding. Sun squaring Pluto. That exposes the truth. Uranus entering Gemini. You're rewiring your mind. And then the moon in Virgo. It's forcing you to process all of this in real time. This is a psychological shift you feel in your body. So let's talk about Sun squaring Pluto. All right, let's start here because this is truly the pressure point. Where the Sun forms a square to Pluto, you're dealing with deep confrontation of power, identity, and truth. This is the kind of energy where the hidden motives get exposed. The control issues surface. Emotional intensity rises fast. So people may feel triggered easily, a little defensive, obsessed with proving something, or suddenly aware of something they can't ignore anymore. It's not light energy, okay? This is the kind of day where you might look at somebody or something in your life and you're going to think, wait, this isn't what I thought it was. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. And here's where it gets intense. Because just as the truth is surfacing, Uranus enters Gemini. The mind awakens. So officially, Uranus enters Gemini this day. And let's face it, that's the headline transit. We've got everybody talking about this. And what is Uranus? In case you're new coming to this video and you've missed it, Uranus is disruption. Gemini is the mind. It's your communication. It's the information. It's the perception. And so what happens when Uranus moves into Gemini? The way we think begins to change, and it's instantly. So collectively, as a whole, people may feel restless, mentally overstimulated, like their thoughts are racing, and sudden realizations hitting out of nowhere. So basically, it's like lightning strike hitting the brain. So this could be a wake-up day feeling one way, but by the end of the day, your entire perspective has shifted. This transit doesn't ask for permission. It is going to disrupt your patterns. It will break outdated thinking. And it introduces ideas that feel almost too fast to keep up with. Which is why I'm out of town. I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to clean the aura, right? And get away from the chaos, because it is going to be very overwhelming for myself. I already work in Gemini energy, so if you're not used to it and you're coming on to this, it's going to feel like a lot. And for the Geminis that are rising or just Gemini or have strong Gemini placements, you know this feeling. So it's going to be doubled. All right? Some people will actually feel inspired, which is me, because I'm coming out of the 12th house. I've felt pulled down, tired, learning lessons, keeping away from a lot of people in society. And you'll notice it. Go back to, I've started this channel in 2022. Go back and look at some of my readings. I'm very slow. My thought process is slow, and now it's going to speed back up for me. So my inspiration, my speaking, everything's going to pick back up for me because I'm now coming into the first house. I'm reborn. But it can still be a system overload for me, which is why I'm taking a little breaky break before I come back. You know, I'm going to let the first week settle in and me get into this a little slower than maybe some other people. So I hope the rest of you Geminis are taking a break yourself. Others are going to feel anxious, right? They're not used to this kind of energy. So if you're not used to how Geminis are, you're going to feel what it feels like. And some are going to feel like they're having a whole full mental reset. But here's the part nobody talks about. When Uranus hits your mind like this, while Pluto is exposing truth, you don't just think differently, you start questioning everything. Geminis question. They ask things. They're curious. And that's what's going to happen to you. So let's talk about the combination of these energies. Okay, so it's kind of like the mental shock and truth exposure is kind of what we're dealing with here. So Sun square Pluto, it says, here is the truth. Uranus and Gemini is saying, now let's process this. And I mean instantly, right now. This creates a moment where realizations happen fast. The emotional reactions are going to spike quickly. Conversations can become intense or confrontational. And you also may notice sudden arguments, people speaking truths they've been actually holding back, information coming out unexpectedly. This is the wake-up call energy, you guys. This is it. This is what's happening. It's not gentle. It is not slow. It's fast, direct, and unavoidable. And just when you think you can sit with it, you've got the moon in Virgo. It's processing overload. So Virgo wants to analyze. They like to fix. They want to understand. They want to make sense of everything. But here's the problem. There's too much happening at once. So emotionally, people are going to feel overwhelmed. They're going to be hyper aware. They're going to be mentally exhausted, right? They're going to be nitpicky or critical. And you might find yourself overthinking the conversations, replaying moments in your head. You're going to try to solve something that just shifted too quickly. This is like your brain trying to organize chaos in real time. And this is where the day splits into two paths. You're going to have everybody in two different groups experiencing this in very two different ways. So the first group, this is the awakening experience. These are the people who are going to embrace the realization. They'll accept the truth that they're going to allow their mindset to shift. So for them, the day will feel, it's clear. Breakthroughs, mental liberation. They're going to feel free. Aha, great. I'm glad I got that truth. Now I know where I need to go. Now I know I don't need to be with you, or whatever the situation may call for. It's going to be great for the people who embrace it and who are awakening from it. But then let's get real. You're going to have the group two. They're going to resist this experience. And that's okay. They have free will to do it. These are the people who are going to fight the truth. They're totally going to resist change. And they're going to try and hold on to old thinking. And sadly for them, this day is going to feel like anxiety, conflict, and mental overload. Some transits, two completely different experiences in the exact same transit. It's wild to think of that. And I think to myself, if you're gonna go through the anxiety and conflict and mental overload, why wouldn't you want to get out of that and roll with it and change and maybe awaken from it? Because you're still going to go through this transit. It's unstoppable for every single person. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Every single one of us goes through this transit. It's like getting on that roller coaster. And you know, if you've been on a roller coaster, You're going up the hill. The bar's locked down. It's and you know you're almost at the top of that hill. You know that feeling. And in your mind, you're like, there's no getting off this MFer. Okay? When I go down this hill, I'm on this ride until it stops. So if you're going to be on this ride, why not learn from it and roll through it? I'm just saying, just a thought. But again, everybody has free will, so they can experience it exactly the way they want. But April 25th, 2026 is not just about what happens externally. It's actually about what clicks internally. Because once Uranus enters Gemini, the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you process reality will never go back to the way it was before. And then with Pluto involved, this isn't just new thought. It's a new truth. So if any of this starts to resonate with you, and be mindful, if you've come to this video even 2 months, 3 months down the road, it will still resonate with you because it's still a transit of wake-up calls and the way you change your thought patterns and communication. Drop me a comment. I'm curious to know how you're feeling during this shift. If you find this type of information to be helpful, make sure you subscribe, comment, share, like. You know, when you do that, this type of content gets out to a lot more people who are looking for it and actually who need to hear about what's happening. And if you know of anybody who might find this to be helpful, please share it with them. All right? So, the next video that will come out will be for the astrological events that are happening on the 26th. That's the day I will be traveling, so that will come out while I have left to go clean my aura and relax and try to not do too much system overload. So I love you guys. I will see you on the video for the 26th. I'll have one for the 28th, and I will have one for the 29th. So until the next time, I will talk to you soon.